discovered my husband was secretly cheating with my younger sister, and when I confronted them at a family dinner, my parents defended the affair. So I vanished without a word and reappeared 3 years later with a $30 million tech empire they never saw coming, or could ever touch. My name's Mia, and I'm 34, living in Seattle, grinding away as an operations manager for a mid-sized logistics company. It's not glamorous, but I'm good at it. Organizing chaos, keeping things moving. My life's been steady, or at least I thought it was. Married to Ethan, a real estate agent with a smile that could sell you a crumbling fixer-upper, for 7 years now. But lately, I'm not so sure about steady. Something's off and it's eating at me. I grew up in a family that always felt tilted, like a table with one short leg. My parents, Diane and Robert, lived just outside the city in Bellevue, in a house full of framed photos, most of them of my younger sister, Riley. She's 29, a barista at some trendy coffee shop downtown, always posting her latte art on Instagram. Riley's the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, even when she flunked out of college or crashed Dad's car. Me? I was the responsible one, the one who got straight A's, paid my own way through school, landed a solid job, but somehow I was always background noise to Riley's spotlight. It's not like I'm bitter. Okay, maybe a little, but I've tried to be the bigger person. Family dinners at my parents' place are a masterclass in biting my tongue. Last Sunday, Riley showed up late, as usual, in ripped jeans and a cropped top, giggling about some guy she met at work. Mom fawned over her, asking about her artistic coffee designs, while Dad nodded along, proud as ever. I mentioned a big project I'd just wrapped at work, streamlining our supply chain, saving the company thousands, and Mom barely looked up from her casserole. "That's nice, Mia," she said, then turned to Riley. "Tell us more about that new espresso machine." I forced a smile, but it stung. It always does. Ethan noticed, at least I think he did. He squeezed my hand under the table, his hazel eyes catching mine. "You killed it on that project," he whispered later as we drove home. I get it, but it's hard not to wonder. Last week I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. Some bar in Capitol Hill, $50 for drinks. When I asked, he laughed it off. "Client meeting, babe. You know how it is." I nodded, but my gut twisted. Was I overthinking it? Work's been my escape. I'm good at my job, but it's not enough anymore. I've been tinkering with a side project, a tech platform to optimize small business logistics. It's just a hobby, something I mess with on weekends. But it's mine. I haven't told Ethan much about it. He's always busy, and I don't want to bore him. Besides, I'm not sure he'd get it. He's all about quick wins, closing deals, shaking hands. My project's slower, messier, but it feels like it could be something big. Maybe it's my way of proving I'm more than the overlooked sister, the dependable wife. Riley's birthday was last month, and Mom threw a big party, like always. I helped plan it, booked the venue, even paid for half the catering. Riley barely said thanks, too busy posing for photos with her friends. Ethan was there, charming the room, but he left early for work. I didn't push it, but I noticed Riley slip out not long after. Probably nothing, right? Just my paranoia. But I keep replaying Mom's toast at the party, to Riley, our shining star. I clapped along, but my chest tightened. When was the last time they toasted me? I'm not imagining things, am I? Ethan's been on his phone more, guarded, turning the screen away when I walk by. Last night I couldn't sleep, staring at the ceiling while he snored beside me. I kept thinking about that receipt, about Riley's smug grin at the party, about Mom's dismissive, "That's nice." My family's always made me feel like I'm not enough, but Ethan was supposed to be different. He was my safe place. Now, I'm not so sure. I don't want to be the crazy wife, the jealous sister, but something's wrong. I can feel it, like a storm brewing just out of sight. I keep telling myself to let it go, to focus on work, on my project, but then I see Riley's Instagram stories. Her at that same Capitol Hill bar, laughing, no coffee shop apron in sight, and Ethan's car parked outside when he's supposed to be at a showing. Am I losing it? Or is something really off? I'm not ready to confront anyone yet. Maybe I'm scared of what I'll find, but I'm done being invisible. My project's picking up steam. Last week, I got an email from a local startup incubator wanting to hear more. It's a small win, but it's mine. For once, I want to be the one who shines, not the one picking up Riley's slack or smiling through Ethan's excuses. I just hope I'm wrong about all this, because if I'm not, I don't know how I'll keep it together. I couldn't shake it, that gnawing feeling in my gut, like I'd swallowed something sharp. Ethan's late nights were piling up, his excuses flimsier each time. Client dinner, he'd say, or last-minute showing. I wanted to believe him. God, I did. But that receipt from the Capitol Hill bar kept haunting me. $50 for drinks? For a client? I wasn't buying it anymore. And Riley, her smug little Instagram stories, always at the same bar Ethan was supposedly working at. Coincidence? Maybe, but my heart was screaming otherwise. I started paying attention, really paying attention. Ethan's phone buzzed at odd hours. Midnight. 2 in the morning. He'd grab it, tilt the screen away, and mutter something about work. One night, I waited until he was in the shower, his phone left on the counter. My hands shook as I picked it up. Passcode. Our anniversary. Typical. I opened his texts, scrolling fast, my heart pounding so loud I thought he'd hear it through the bathroom door. There it was, a thread with Riley, my sister. Miss you already, she'd written, with a winking emoji. His reply, can't wait to see you tomorrow. My stomach dropped. I felt sick, like the room was spinning. My husband, my sister, how could they? I put the phone down before he came out, forcing a smile as he toweled off, oblivious. You okay, babe? He asked, and I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. I didn't sleep that night, just lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment I'd ignored. Riley's giggles at her birthday party, Ethan leaving early, her slipping out right after. It wasn't paranoia. It was real. But I needed more than text. I needed proof I couldn't deny, something to make it impossible for them to lie their way out. The next day I called in sick, first time in years. I couldn't focus at work anyway, my head was a mess. Instead, I drove to Riley's coffee shop, watched from my car, parked across the street. She was there, flirting with customers, tossing her hair like she owned the place. Ethan's car wasn't around, but I wasn't done. I checked his calendar, synced to mine from back when we trusted each other. Open house, Belltown. I drove there, heart hammering. No open house, no Ethan, just a dark, empty condo with a for sale sign. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, tears burning my eyes. Where was he? With her? I started digging. Quietly. I didn't want them to know I was onto them. I checked Ethan's credit card statements online, thank God he never changed the password. Charges at hotels, restaurants, even a jewelry store. A necklace, $300 last month. I hadn't gotten any necklace. My chest tightened, like someone was squeezing my heart. I cross-checked Riley's Instagram. Sure enough, a post from the same week. Her wearing a shiny new pendant. Captioned, I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I saved screenshots. Every single one. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I couldn't. If I opened my mouth, I'd lose it, yell, cry, beg for answers I already knew. And they'd lie, twist it, make me feel crazy. No, I had to be smart. So I poured everything into my side project, that logistics app I'd been tinkering with. Late nights at my laptop, coding, planning, building something that was mine. It was the only thing keeping me sane. Every time I wanted to sob, I'd write another line of... Every time I pictured Ethan and Riley together, I'd sketch out a new feature. It was my lifeline, my way of clawing back control. One night, I found a final nail. Ethan was working late again, so I checked his location, shared from some family plan we'd set up ages ago. His phone pinged at a hotel downtown, the kind with overpriced cocktails and dim lighting. I drove there, shaking, not sure what I'd do. I parked, watched the entrance. Then I saw them, Ethan and Riley, arm in arm, laughing as they walked out. She leaned into him and he kissed her forehead. My sister, my husband. I didn't scream. I didn't run up to them. I just sat there, frozen, my hands clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. I took a photo through my car window, blurry but clear enough. Proof. I drove home, numb. My phone buzzed. Ethan texting he'd be home soon. I didn't reply. I couldn't. All I could think was, how long? How long have they been doing this? Months? Years? And my parents, did they know? They always picked Riley, always excused her. Would they excuse this too? I felt so alone, like the ground had vanished beneath me. But I wasn't going to break, not yet. I kept working on my app, pouring my rage into it. A few weeks ago, that startup incubator emailed again, wanting a pitch. I hadn't planned to take it seriously, but now it felt like my way out. My way to be more than the woman they'd betrayed. I wasn't ready to face them, but when I did, it'd be on my terms. They thought they could hurt me and walk away. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I couldn't keep it inside anymore. The screenshots, the hotel photo, the necklace, they were burning a hole in my chest. I had to face them. I had to hear them admit it. So I called a family meeting at my parents' house. No excuses, no dodging. I texted everyone, dinner, Sunday, 7. We need to talk. My hands shook as I hit send, but I wasn't backing down. This wasn't about begging for answers. It was about making them face what they'd done. Sunday came and I walked into my parents' dining room, my stomach in knots. Mom had her usual spread, roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, like we were just catching up. Dad sat at the head of the table, sipping his coffee. Riley was there, scrolling her phone, smirking at something. Ethan sat next to her, his leg bouncing under the table. I clutched the folder in my bag, packed with every piece of evidence I'd gathered. My heart pounded so loud I swear they could hear it. I waited until dessert. Mom was cutting pie, chattering about Riley's new latte art contest. I couldn't take it anymore. Enough, I said, my voice sharper than I meant. Everyone froze. I pulled out the folder, slamming it on the table. You want to explain this? I opened it, spreading out the screenshots between Ethan and Riley, flirty, disgusting. The hotel receipts, the photo of them outside that downtown hotel, his lips on her forehead. My hands were shaking, but my voice held steady. Go on. Tell me I'm wrong. Riley's face went white. Ethan's jaw dropped. Then he started stammering. Babe, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? I laughed, a bitter, ugly sound. Don't insult me, Ethan. I saw you. I saw you both. Riley started crying, big, dramatic tears. It just happened, okay? We didn't mean to hurt me. My own sister sneaking around with my husband, and that's her excuse. I turned to my parents, waiting for them to say something, anything. Mom just stared at the table. Dad cleared his throat. Mia, maybe you're blowing this out of proportion. I felt like I'd been slapped. Out of proportion, I shouted. My husband's sleeping with my sister and you're defending them. Mom finally spoke, her voice soft, like she was soothing a child. Riley's young, honey. She makes mistakes. You're too hard on her. I couldn't believe it. Even now, with the truth staring them in the face, they picked her. Always her. I looked at Ethan, hoping for something. Regret? Shame? Anything. He just looked away, muttering, We can work this out, babe. Work it out? I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table, smash the pie, make them feel a fraction of the pain ripping through me. Instead, I stood up, my chair scraping the floor. You know what? I'm done. I pointed at Riley, then Ethan. You two deserve each other. I turned to my parents. And you've never seen me, not once. I'm done trying to make you... Riley was sobbing. Ethan was calling my name, but I didn't look back. The door slammed behind me, and I felt like I could finally breathe. I drove home, tears blurring the road. My phone buzzed. Ethan, then Mom, then Riley. I ignored them all. I got to our house, my house now, and packed a bag. Ethan could have the couch, the dog, whatever. I wasn't staying. I checked into a cheap motel, the kind with flickering lights and thin walls. Lying on that lumpy bed, I felt empty, like someone had carved out my insides. They chose her. Again. My whole life I'd been the backup, the one who didn't matter, and now my husband was part of it too. But something shifted that night. I was done crying, done begging for their love, their approval. I opened my laptop, stared at my app, the one thing they couldn't take from me. I'd been holding back, treating it like a hobby, but no more. I emailed the startup incubator, confirming my pitch. I stayed up until dawn, refining my code, my business plan. They thought they could break me? They were wrong. If this hit close to home, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and let's talk. I'm here, and I listen. The next week was a blur. I moved into a small apartment, just a studio, but it was mine. Ethan kept texting, begging to talk. Riley sent a long, rambling message about how sorry she was, how it wasn't serious. I didn't reply. My parents called, left voicemails about family sticking together. I deleted them. I was done being their doormat. At work, I threw myself into my job, but it was my app. The incubator loved my pitch, invited me to a mentorship program. It was small, but it was a start, a spark. I didn't feel strong yet, not really, but I felt something else. Anger, sharp and clear, like a blade. They'd betrayed me, all of them, and I wasn't going to let it destroy me. I'd build something they couldn't ignore, something they couldn't touch, and when I did, they'd see exactly who they'd thrown away. 3 years. That's how long it took me to turn my pain into power. My app, my lifeline through those dark days, exploded. I'd poured every ounce of rage, every sleepless night into it. Now, it's a logistics platform small businesses swear by, and I'm the CEO of a company valued at $30 million. Forbes called me a tech mogul. Me. The woman they all wrote off. I didn't do it for them, but damned, it feels good to know they're seeing it. I didn't reach out after that dinner. No calls, no texts, no apologies. I cut them off like a dead branch. My parents tried leaving voicemails, asking me to talk things out. I deleted them without listening. Ethan sent emails, long ones, begging for forgiveness, swearing he'd made a mistake. A mistake? Sleeping with my sister wasn't a typo. I blocked him. Riley posted cryptic Instagram stories, quotes about growth and healing, but never once said sorry. Not that I cared. I was done chasing their scraps of love. My life was different now. I had a corner office, a team that respected me, investors knocking on my door, the startup incubator that took a chance on me. They are my biggest cheerleaders. I'd wake up in my new apartment, sleek downtown, all mine, and feel this quiet strength. I wasn't the woman who cried in that motel anymore. I was someone new, someone they couldn't touch. But I wasn't done with them, not quite. I didn't want revenge, not the loud, messy kind. I wanted justice. Cold, sharp, undeniable, so I planned it carefully. One morning, I sat at my desk, sipping coffee, and printed out 4 copies of a Forbes article about me. The headline was perfect. Abandoned woman becomes $30 million tech mogul. No fluff, just facts. My app, my success, my net worth. I didn't write a note, didn't add a single word. I folded each article, slipped them into plain envelopes, and mailed them. One to Ethan, one to Riley, one to each of my parents. No return address. Let them stew. I knew it hit them hard. Ethan's real estate business was crumbling. Too many bad deals, too much time spent chasing bars instead of clients. I heard through an old friend he was selling his car to cover debts. Riley? Still pouring coffee, still posting selfies like she was living the dream. My parents were quieter, but I knew they'd see the article and feel the weight of it. I didn't need to scream or fight. That headline said everything. I didn't need them. I never did. A week later, my phone buzzed. Mom, I let it go to voicemail. Honey, we saw the article, she said, her voice shaky. We're so proud. Can we talk? Proud? Now they were proud? I deleted it. Dad called next, leaving a message about family healing. I didn't listen to the whole thing. Riley sent a text. Wow, you really did it. Can we meet up? I laughed out loud. Meet up? For what? To pretend she didn't stab me in the back? I blocked her number. Ethan was the worst, showed up at my office all puppy eyes and apologies. Security escorted him out. You don't get to do this, I told him, my voice calm but ice cold. You don't get to act like you're part of this. I didn't gloat. Didn't need to. The article was enough. It was my way of saying, look at me, look at what I did without you. I pictured them opening those envelopes, reading that headline, and realizing they'd bet on the wrong horse. Riley with her latte art and fake tears, Ethan with his lies and charm. My parents, always picking her over me. They thought I'd crumble, but I built an empire instead. Work kept me grounded. My team was growing, 20 people now, all believing in my vision. We were rolling out new features, signing bigger clients. I'd walk into meetings confident, knowing I'd earned every bit of this. Sometimes I'd catch myself smiling, not because of them, but because I was free. Free from their expectations, their betrayal. I didn't need their approval anymore. I had my own. Still, late at night, I'd think about that dinner, their faces when I laid out the evidence. Part of me wondered if they felt guilt, if they ever lay awake regretting it. But it didn't matter. I wasn't doing this for their regret. I was doing it for me. That article wasn't just a slap in their faces. It was my declaration of independence. I'd spent my whole life trying to prove I was enough. Now, I knew I was more than enough. I heard through the grapevine that Ethan and Riley's fling fell apart. No surprise there. Cheaters don't exactly build solid foundations. My parents stopped calling after a while, probably embarrassed. I didn't care. I was too busy living my life, building my future. My app was getting buzz talk of an acquisition, maybe going public one day. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was thriving, and they'd never get to claim a piece of it. I don't think about them much anymore. Not really. The article did its job and I moved on. My life's full now. Meetings, launches, late-night brainstorming sessions with my team. My app's everywhere, saving small businesses time and money, and I'm not just the CEO, I'm the heart of it. I've got a new circle, too. Friends who cheer my wins, who don't make me feel like I'm competing for their love. But sometimes, when it's quiet, I catch myself reflecting, not on the betrayal, but on who I've become because of it. I heard bits and pieces about them through old acquaintances. Ethan's business never recovered. He's working some desk job now, barely scraping by. His charm doesn't sell like it used to. Riley's still at that coffee shop, posting the same filtered selfies, pretending she's got it all together. Their fling, it crashed and burned. Just like I figured it would. No loyalty between thieves, right? I heard they sold their house, downsized to a condo. Mom sent a letter a few months back, handwritten, full of apologies. "We didn't mean to push you away," she wrote. I read it once, then tucked it in a drawer. I didn't reply. What was there to say? I used to want their love so badly. I'd twist myself into knots trying to be the perfect daughter, the perfect sister, the perfect wife. I'd lie awake, wondering why I wasn't enough, why they always chose her. Now I look in the mirror and see someone else, someone who doesn't need their approval. I built this life without them. My company's valued at $30 million, sure, but it's not about the money. It's about what I proved to myself. I'm enough. More than enough. My new apartment's my sanctuary, floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of the city skyline. I sip coffee on my balcony, watching the sunrise, and feel this peace I never knew before. My team's like family now, 25 people who trust me, who show up every day to build something bigger than us. We're rolling out a new feature next month, and there's talk of going public. It's terrifying, exhilarating. I'm not the woman who doubted herself, who checked her husband's phone in the dark. I'm the woman who took her pain and turned it into power. I don't hate them anymore. That's the strange part. Hate takes energy, and I'm done giving them that. I don't wish them ill, don't fantasize about their downfall. I just don't care. That article I sent wasn't for them, not really. It was for me, a way to close the door, to say, I did this, me. Without you, I used to dream of them groveling, begging for forgiveness. Now, I don't need it. Their guilt, that's their burden, not mine. Sometimes I think about that dinner, the way their faces fell when I laid out the evidence. I used to replay it, picking apart what I could have said differently. But it doesn't matter anymore. That moment wasn't the end, it was the beginning. It broke me open, forced me to rebuild. And I did. Better, stronger, freer. I learned to love myself not because of what I achieved, but because of who I am. I'm not perfect. I still doubt myself sometimes, still feel the sting of old wounds, but I don't let it define me. Last week, I was at a conference speaking on a panel about women in tech. Someone in the audience asked how I got here, what drove me. I paused, the old pain flickering for a second. I had to lose everything to find myself, I said. The room went quiet, like they felt the weight of it. I didn't tell them about the betrayal, the folder of screenshots, the years of being invisible. I didn't need to. That's not my story anymore. My story's about what came after. I've started mentoring other women, helping them pitch their startups, navigate the chaos. It's my way of giving back, of making sure no one else feels as alone as I did. I tell them what I wish someone had told me. You're enough. Keep going. It's simple, but it's everything. I wish I could go back to that woman in the motel crying on a lumpy bed and tell her she'd be okay, that she'd build something incredible, that she'd be free. I don't know if they've changed. Ethan, Riley, my parents. Maybe they're sorry, maybe they're not. It's not my job to fix them. I've got my own life now, my own joy. I walk into my office every day, see my team hustling, see my app making a difference, and I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I'm not the girl they broke anymore. I'm someone new, someone who doesn't look back, who doesn't need their apologies. I'm thriving, and that's the best justice I could have asked for. If this hit close to home, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and let's talk. I'm here, and I listen.